But we're here tonight to declare that crooked Joe Biden's banana republic ends on November 5th, 2024. It ends. As you know, Biden and the radical left Democrats claim to be defending democracy. He's always talking about democracy. He doesn't know what the word means. He can't define it. Define it for us, Joe. Joe, what does MAGA stand for, Joe? Tell me. I don't know. I don't know. We'll ask him that during a debate. What does MAGA stand for? I don't know. But like power-hungry regimes all over the world, just because they put the word democratic in their name does not make it true. The radical left Democrat communists are against voter ID. Therefore, open borders. How about that? Open borders where criminals come in from all over the world. They're for massive censorship and blacklisting. They're for shredding the Constitution, gutting the rule of law, and threatening their political opponents with violence and ruin. Remember, we are not the ones endangering American democracy. We are the ones saving American democracy. We are saving it from these very terrible people. If you don't want to let the communists destroy America like they destroyed Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and so many other countries, you need to send a message by voting crooked Joe Biden and all of his friends, the people that are actually really running our country, and every last Democrat, get them the hell out of office. We have to get them out. Because this race is not just about beating crooked Joe, it's about defeating the entire rotten, corrupt, and tyrannical establishment right now that you have in Washington, D.C. Nobody thought we'd see this. This election will decide whether power in America belongs to them forever or whether it belongs to you, the men and women who make this country great, who make this country run. 2024 is our final battle. Stand with me in the fight. We will finish the job that we started so brilliantly 7 years ago. We never had a country like we had just 3 years ago. The job we did things that nobody thought were possible. With your vote, we are going to win the Florida primary for a third straight time. We are going to win this wonderful state in a landslide like we have done right from the beginning. Remember, you got to remember, we got 1.2 million more votes than Ron DeSanctimonious. You know that, right? Everyone says, oh, he did so well. He did well because I endorsed him. That's the only reason he was gone. But we got 1.2 million more votes than Ron DeSantis, as NBC called him the other day. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Ron DeSantis. That's called good branding, isn't it? Did we do a good job? And we're going to make America great again, greater than ever before. That's what's going to happen. And job number one is to make America safe again. For 4 straight years under the Trump administration, I kept America safe. I kept Israel safe. I kept Ukraine safe. And I kept the world safe. Israel, Ukraine would have never happened under the Trump administration. There was no chance it would have happened. Those 2 events alone would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened, would have never happened. It was caused by stupid people on energy policy. But we'll get it back really fast. Before I took office, there was a terrorist attack seemingly every week. People were getting massacred left and right, including the Pulse nightclub murders in Orlando. You remember that, how horrible that was? With me in the White House, we stopped it cold. Nothing happened. For 4 years, nothing happened. I completely obliterated the ISIS territorial caliphate. They said that couldn't be done. And I terminated its founder and leader who was trying to rebuild it again, al-Baghdadi. And we also ended the life of the world's top terrorist ever probably, Qasem young men and women on the streets where they have no legs, their arms are wiped out, their face, everything. He was the one. 94% of it was all done by Soleimani. He's no longer with us. And here in the United States, I implemented a strong, powerful, really incredible travel ban. They call it the Trump travel ban, and I said, that's okay if you want to do that, to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of our country. And we did. We did. When countries were sending their young, strong people that had bad intentions, we didn't let them do it. And the countries paid hell for it, but we kept it and we had no problems. And then you look at what's been taking place now, and you look at the millions and millions of people that are coming into our country totally unchecked. Nobody knows who they are. But under the crooked Joe Biden, we were weak and soft and in danger like never before, and that continues. And, you know, we have an election that's coming up very quickly, but 1 year is a long time. The destruction that they've done to our country, 1 year seems like it's quick, but it's not. It's a long time for them to continue, because we're close to having no country at all, and we're also close to being in World War III, a war that you've never even conceived or thought about, but we're very close. You know, they have a hat. I saw it the other day. It said Trump was right about everything, and I said, well, that's a big statement. And then you think about it, and I sort of was right about everything. Russia, Russia, Russia hoax, the whole thing. Our country has never seen the likes of what you witnessed in America last weekend with the menacing mobs of Hamas supporters chanting their jihad slogans in the streets of our cities. In Washington, D.C., pro-jihadist demonstrators climbed up the fence in front of the White House. Excuse me, that I built it. You know, the fence wasn't too good. The one that they had up there was falling apart, and we built it. Titanium, it's the strongest stuff, and they damaged the fence, and they damaged police vehicles. They desecrated statues of Ben Franklin and other great heroes of our country, and they shouted, Allah Akbar, while calling the barbaric Hamas terrorists martyrs. They were saying martyrs. In times like these, you can't afford to have a president who wants to be politically correct. We have to do things properly. We cannot have an administration that takes foreign policy advice from Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib. Can't do that. Can't do that. AOC +3, right? AOC +3. But that's a movement that's growing. On day one, we will restore the Trump travel ban on entry from terror-plagued countries, and we will implement strict vetting and ideological screening for all new entrants into our country. We don't do that at all now. Anybody can come in. Anybody can come in. When people want to go and take the test, where do I learn to take the test? People say to them, you don't have to take any tests, just go to the southern border and walk in. You don't have to bother with tests, you know? We had a good, strong policy. We wanted people to come to our country, but we wanted them to come in legally. If you hate America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you sympathize with jihadists, then we don't want you in our country, and we are not going to let you come into our country. To all the resident aliens who joined in the pro-jihadist protests and became very violent and started destroying our capital and many other places, we put you on notice. Come 2025, we will find you and we will deport you. You know, during my term, we had a little bit of a problem with people coming into Washington and want to knock down all of our statues to our great heroes, in many cases great heroes. But these were beautiful works of art, and they represented Washington, they represented our history, and they came in and they started getting more and more. Then all of a sudden they started talking about taking down Lincoln and taking down George Washington and Jefferson. They wanted to knock down the Jefferson Memorial, little things like that. And I was able to find an old law, because only old laws are tough. Our current laws are weak. They're weak. They're for a weak country. They're for people that don't want to be told what to do properly. And we found this old law, and I immediately had a press conference. I signed it, and I enacted it. First time in almost 100 years. And it said, if you so much as touch one of our statues or memorials, you go to jail for 10 years with no probation, no anything. You go for 10 years. And you all remember that. And as soon as I signed it, everybody ran away. That was the end. We had no problem. I'll never forget, we signed it. There were people on top of one of the most beautiful statues in Washington, and they had ropes, you know what I'm talking about? And they were all set to do something, and they heard about this, and they got off that thing so fast you wouldn't believe. And they all left. We ended the problem. I will also quickly cancel the student visas of all Hamas sympathizers on college campuses, which have been infested with radicalism like never before, college campuses. On day one, I will stop the invasion of our southern border. We will stop it. Think of this, 1.5 million people, in my opinion, are coming in every 2 months. I think the number's going to end up being not 3 million people, not 5, not 7, not 10 that you hear. The real number, you know, talking about gotaways. You know what the gotaways are? Many, many times the ones they catch. I think the number is going to be more than 15 million people, which is larger than New York State. Thank you. Under Biden, the United States has become the dumping ground of the world. Inmates are being emptied out of their prisons, insane asylums, and mental institutions, and they're pouring into the United States. Think of it, empty insane asylums. That's a bad word. My people say, please don't use those words, sir. Why? Because it's so nasty. Well, that's true. Now, an insane asylum is Silence of the Lambs. Anybody ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? He was a nice fellow, but that's what's coming into our country right now. And mental institutions, which is a number of degrees below that, and prisons and jails, there's a little difference. And they're coming in at levels never seen before, probably never seen before in any country. There's never been anything like this. Our country is being invaded. This is an invasion. It's an invasion.